Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Curtain Call podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Irish Neat, the leader of the Bret Hart is Overrated fan club. As always, I'm joined by my co-host, JR. What's going on, man? Too sweet me.
Oh, no, baby, too sweet me. You know how we do, man. I'm excited about this one. We get to recap of what happened over this past weekend at the AEW Full Gear pay-per-view. Yes. You're going to hear some surprises from me, and I'm sure that you're going to say some things that's going to catch me off guard. But you got to do me a favor, Jordan. Before we go any further, man, I got to give a shout-out to two people that have been very, very active on the YouTube and on the social media accounts. The first one is Ann. Ann, thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing. We appreciate you. Too sweet me, sister. And the second one, a weird way of doing this, but he happens to be a forced tag team that I was put into, and that's Mr. T. Mr. T, thank you for your support. You are big time on Jordan's TikTok account. You're doing your thing here with us. You're following us over onto the YouTube channel. I'm excited, brother. So big shout out to two of our Podcast Nation members. Appreciate you guys, man.
Yes. Big, huge shout out to you guys. What do we got, man? It was a good show. I'm going 4 stars. I'm going to give you my overall opinion of what I thought it was right off the bat. We can get this out of the way. 4 stars. I'm giving it. Good show, good matches, good storylines, good future storylines. We already have a jump ship from Ring of Honor that showed up. That was exciting. I'm going 4 stars right off the bat. You don't have to let me know yours right off the bat if you don't want to, but I'm just getting it. I'm putting it out there. I'm going 4 stars overall on this.
That's very brave of you, giving the 4 stars right at the top of the topic here of the show. But check this out. You're right. I'm not going to give my answer just yet because a lot of people are going to be shocked by the number that I give it. But let's go right into it. We had the pre-show. We had Thunder Rosa and Saeed in a tag match versus Nyla Rose and Jamie Hayter. It was a 12-minute match. Tell me what you thought. As the winners, Thunder Rosa and her team, get the victory. Tell me what you thought about the match.
So, yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like definitely they're rolling with Thunder Rosa, getting a good push lately, and I think they're going to be really pulling the trigger on her lately, and, you know, for the foreseeable future, I think she's going to be getting a good push here soon, if, you know, already, but, yeah, 12 minutes is a lot better than the I don't like to mention this, but the WWE side of women's wrestling, when their matches were getting like 90 seconds, you know, 2.5 minutes. So yeah. 12 minutes on a pre-show for a women's match, they deserve some credit for that. At least they're spending time and putting in time to women's wrestling. I thought it was a pretty good match overall. Thunder Rosa and them, I thought the win, that was fine. I was okay with that win. But yeah, good match. Like I said, normally pre-show matches aren't the most exciting in the world, but you know, for kicking off a good show this past weekend, I thought it was a pretty good opening match. What are your thoughts?
It was a pretty good match. I was happy with the fact that I think you're right. They're pushing Thunder Rosa. I think right now she's the only one that's on pace, on track to be able to dethrone our AEW Women's Champion, Britt Baker, DMD. I think she's pretty much the only one that can possibly do that. They had some spots, of course, that were very kind of not done well. It was kind of lackadaisical at times. The crowd was into it. Yeah. The finish wasn't well executed, but other than that, it was a good match. 12 minutes. It was an all right match. If you had to grade it really quickly, 1 to 5, what would you grade it?
I mean, you're right. It had some issues. You're right. The finishing wasn't great. I'm going 3.
I gave it 3 as well. Let's go on to the next one. It was a good one. 21 minutes they gave these guys. Of course, I'm talking about MJF defeating Darby Allin. You got to tell me, man. Tell me how you felt about the match. Give me a grade on it. How'd you like it?
Yeah, so I was spot on. I in our predictions, I gave MJF the win. I ended up being, you know, successful on that one. Good match, man. I mean, it was good, I think, from start to finish. I did call it, though. I kind of called it. We did see Sting a little bit there towards the end. I did say that in the predictions that we might see him at some point. But, yeah, man, as far as the opener, I thought they did a great job. MJF showed that he's more than just a good promo. He can work. That's for damn sure. I thought it was a good opener. I'm giving it 4 out of 5 to be real. I know that's out there. That Dave Meltzer might get pretty upset with me. My grades are all over the point. But, yeah, I'm going 4. I thought it was a good way to open the show. Both guys got over with the crowd. MJF continues getting the heat on him. But, yeah, man, I thought arguably it was in the discussion for best on the card, in my opinion. What are your thoughts?
Very solid match. You know me, I'm all about storytelling, and MJF told a heck of a story. I like the fact that Darby Allin wanted to push the pace a couple times in the match. You can actually see MJF wheeling him back, not as a story. Let's purposely or doing it story match style. No, he was pulling him back like, yo, let's milk this a little bit. The crowd was very into it. I was surprised how over MJF was. The match was a good match. I gave it a 3.5 stars. I think that some of the stuff in it was kind of wonky. The AEW needs to stop with these vignettes of Darby Allin in the beginning of the match that make no sense whatsoever. I didn't follow that. It kind of throws it off. And you knew something was up because even the crowd was like, the first time they did it, the crowd didn't react to it. This time, the crowd doesn't react to it. I kind of hope they do something different. The finish, of course, another match with the finish kind of wonky, but MJF told a really good story. He slowed the pace up. The selling was amazing. It was a pretty good match, but I did give it 3 out of 5, bud.
Valid.
Hey, this one was the one you were saying it was going to be the match of the night. Los Hermanos de Mexico, the Lucha Brothers versus FTR. 19 minutes they were getting. Of course, you have the Lucha Brothers winning. Tell me what you thought about it.
Okay, yeah. So, you were right with your prediction on this one. So I got the prediction right. They retained. You were right, man. There was just some timing issues. I thought it was going to be a good clash of styles, but to be real, it wasn't. It was a fine match. It was a fine match. I'm not going to say a great match or anything. It was an okay match. Obviously, all 4 of those guys can wrestle their asses off. There's no question about that. But, yeah, man, there was some timing issues. I wouldn't say botches, but just timing's the only word I got for it. Just not hitting the cues when they're supposed to, or someone missed a cue. I know FTR went for some move in the middle of the ring on Pentagon, and Pentagon was like a second late on hitting the ropes, and it just looked horrible. The timing just looked terrible. I'm glad I got the prediction right on the winner at least. I'm excited they're still the champions. But yeah, man, it was just off, and it's a shame because they're all 4 so talented. But hopefully by the time they go at it again, they can kind of work out those kinks. Not a whole lot of botches, like I said, but just getting everything timed precisely. Clash of Styles definitely was not in their favor. But it was okay. It was all right. What do you think?
What number do you give it?
I don't know, man. I think giving it a 3 is too. That might be giving them too much.
No, that's big coming from you because you thought this could be potentially the match of the night.
Yeah, I'm going to go a 3, and I'm being generous on that.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, you got some first right there. There you go. Well, you know what, Jordan, I'm going to tell you something. I told you, if you go back and watch the show, I said, I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think it's going to work out right. The finish was weird. There was some moments that I found myself saying, what was that? That doesn't even, it didn't feel right. And it bothers me because you take any one of those guys and put them separately, they could work. You put them on a team, they work amazingly, but their styles didn't mix. Didn't mix up very well. You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I'm surprised you gave it a 3. I gave it a 2.5 because what they did execute was super good. Some of the spots that they were doing was super good. But yeah, I didn't enjoy it too much. I gave it a 2.5.
Yeah, like I said, I was being generous with that 3. 2.5 is probably the better answer. I'm probably just being biased in that 3 stars just because I love those guys so much. But 2.5 makes a lot more sense.
Hey, so the next one we had Bryan Danielson versus Miro. 21-minute match. Bryan Danielson gets the win. What do you think about it? Give me a number. Tell me how you liked it.
So it was a good match. I knew it was going to be a good match. Bryan Danielson continues to show why he's arguably one of the best going right now as far as talent, technical ability, just overall skill. I can't remember exactly who I predicted to win. I think I chose
Miro.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say, I knew it was a very heel-heavy show that I picked. So I think that's maybe the only one I got wrong in my prediction, besides Kingston, but I'm heated about that one enough, so we'll get to that. Yeah, the problem is, are they going to go with two faces? Are they going to do this storyline's better than heel face? Like it's just about two good wrestlers? But also, we could get to this later. Is Hangman just going to be a transitional champion to Bryan Danielson? That might be the case as well. But overall, back to this, it was a good match. Both those guys are incredible. Miro does such a good job of getting some heat on him and working that submission. Yeah, I thought it was a good match. I'm giving it 3.5. I got the prediction wrong, but I'm okay in that wrong answer because I just like the match, and either one of those guys gets my vote in the end. What are your thoughts?
It's amazing that it was possibly probably one of the best matches of the night. Yeah. And this is where I throw a little jab at AEW, not because I'm hating on them. It was two WWE guys that put on a hell of a match. And we're being completely honest. You can actually see the storyline being told. And then they gave you the things that AEW fans wanted. But they combined the two, and it was a very good executed match. I sound like a broken record when I say this. The finish was a bit off, but it was a great match. I actually gave it 4 stars. I thought they told an amazing story. The one thing I didn't like was that look, man, Miro should have gone over, in my opinion. I think they could have did something where they could have made Miro win, but it doesn't hurt Daniel Bryan. I don't like the face versus face thing because you're giving the fans what they wanted in Hangman Adam Page being the champion, but now you're giving the super uber babyface Bryan Danielson that title shot, and it's going to make people turn from Hangman. And what are you going to do, turn him heel? That's the worst thing they could do is to turn Hangman Adam Page heel. I gave it a 4-star. I thought it was a good match. Very, very, very solid match. I would have liked to see Miro win, but Bryan Danielson takes away the victory in a 21-minute match. Hey, Jurassic Express versus a Super Click. Yo, so this is a 23-minute match. And I want to be able to go first on this one.
Go ahead.
I told you that this was the match that I possibly, it was going to be just a straight spot fest and doing this and, let's do that and no storytelling and flips and flips and flips and flips and flips and flips. By far, probably my second favorite match of the night. It was an amazing match. 4 out of 5, easily. The crowd was so into it. It was amazing how they were actually telling the story, doing all those flips. And they told it very well. I think Jurassic Express is amazing. Jungle Boy is so underrated, man. The kid is really, really good. And the Young Bucks put on a heck of a performance. I like the things that they were doing. Was it spot heavy? Yes, but they were doing it when it mattered and when it made sense. They weren't just doing it to do it. First of all, the Young Bucks got a huge pop, but Adam Cole is so over. Adam Cole is so over. And it gets me wondering, when are they just going to put the title on him? Because it's evident that the fans are behind him 110%. I thought it was a really good match, man. I gave it 4 out of 5. It was probably one of my the favorite match of the night. Tell me what you think.
Yeah, I'm starting with that as well. I gave it a 4 out of 5 as well. Rightfully so. Yeah, Adam Cole it's like he never left the indie / Ring of Honor scene. It's like he never left.
Never.
I mean, he's still at the height. I mean, he's been in his prime, and he's still in his prime, and he's going to be in his prime for a long time, I think. People absolutely love him. Yeah, that entrance was incredible. Did you happen to notice their gear by chance?
I don't think so. What was it?
The pink and black. Little shout out to Bret Hart. Little shout out to Bret Hart. You know, I mean, I cringed a little bit. I'm like, ugh. But it's cool, man. Adam Cole looks good in that pink and black. You know what I mean? They all looked sweet, man. But yeah, 4 out of 5, definitely. You know, top 3, arguably one of the best matches of the night. I mean, you were right in that there was a lot of spots, but there was also good storytelling, good wrestling, and when Christian, when they had that concerto at the top of the ramp, oh man, I was getting attitude era flashbacks. It was good. And now that I'm thinking about it, this was actually the other match that I didn't predict correctly because I had the super click going over on this one. But yeah, overall good match. I mean, I see a lot of hate on Luchasaurus online, but man, I can't help but just be entertained whenever I watch that guy. Like when he did the flip off the ramp on everybody, when he did the standing flip, when I think Adam Cole was just in the middle of the ring, like that, he can just if you watched him years ago, he has improved 1,000%. Like he used to be like too big for his own body. Like he's kind of clunky in the ring, and when he would do a big boot, it wouldn't always like connect, or he might like almost fall over when he did one. But the last year or so, he's really improved, I think. And but yeah, I give it 4 out of 5 as well. Great match. Unfortunately, I didn't pick the winner, but I didn't really care at the end because I enjoyed the match so much.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to DDP Yoga. That's what that is. It's DDP Yoga.
Yeah.
All right, check this out. So we had a 10-minute match with Pac, Cody Rhodes versus Andrade and Malachi Black. It was a 10-minute match. I'm going to be honest with you. Nothing really spectacular. I wasn't buying it. I gave it 3 stars. Tell me what you think.
Yeah, 3 stars all the way. I'm with you. 10. I feel like these guys could put on way more than a 10-minute match.
Absolutely.
They should have been written more time. They should have been given more time. The show's already long enough. Like you could have given them 5 or 6 more minutes, and they could have done a lot more with that. Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. It was okay. Nothing. I didn't really get a whole lot out of it by the time it was over. Yeah, 3 stars. It was okay. Nothing too exciting. I like all those guys individually, but it didn't really advance a whole lot for me or really do anything for me. What are your thoughts on that match?
Absolutely. I understand what Cody Rhodes is doing. He doesn't want the focus being on him. He wants the focus being on the new talent. But in the process, the fans are turning against you hard. I mean, he didn't get it. He can't buy himself a cheer. There was some things in the match that I was like, okay, whatever. And then there were some moments that I was like, why are these guys not higher up on the card? I think that Malachi Black's amazing. Andrade is so super, super talented. And he's probably, in my opinion, he's probably the second hottest Latin wrestler there is in all of, from Latin America to the Caribbean, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, and Cuba. There isn't a hotter Latin wrestler than he is. There's probably 1 or 2 that I can name off the top of my head. He's so amazing. Cody Rhodes can put on a clinic. And my goodness, Pac, God, man, he's good, man. The guy, it's like every time I see him, he's getting better and better and better. I want to see more of this. I thought Cody was going to turn heel sometime during the match. It looks like they're looking that way. It looks like they're trying to move it that way where he could turn heel. But yeah, I gave it a 3 stars, but it didn't do much for me, man.
Yeah, I'm the same way. And before we move on to the next one, I just want to say Pac Neville being released from the WWE was the best thing to ever happen to him.
You could have said it better, man. Check this out. It was a 15-minute match between Ty Conti, the challenger, and the champion versus the champion, Britt Baker, DMD. Of course, Britt goes over in that 15-minute match. I was really looking forward to this match. I gave it a 2-star. Yeah, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, you read my mind at 2 stars, exactly what I gave it as well. I mean, we said this in the predictions. I'll never say 100%. This was a 99% chance that Britt was going to retain. I didn't think of Tay as a real threat at all. I only give it a 99 because you never know for like a botched pin or a botched number. You never know, so I never want to say 100%. 99%, this was Britt, and it was always going to be. This wasn't even a fair title match. This was just a road bump for Britt Baker, I think. It wasn't even – I didn't take this match serious one bit. I didn't bat an eye. Even the 1 or 2 false finishes that were against Britt, I didn't believe them at all. Like, yeah, this match, 2 stars is enough. I don't think we need to go into detail about this match. It didn't really do anything. And we can go back to our the good, the bad, and the ugly about AEW is who's the next challenger? I don't know. I have no idea.
Britt is so over. When she comes out, she's walking and she turns around and does that. She is so over, man. My God, I can't. The next one, your boy was in an 11-minute match. It seemed longer than that, but it was 11 minutes. It was Eddie Kingston versus Straight Edge CM Punk. Tell me what you thought. Give me your ranking.
This one's hard. So, like I said, if you watch the predictions, I was all Eddie, and once again, man, you hit the nail on the head. You said,
say it one more time. Say it again.
Nail on the head. You were right. You said Punk was going to get beat the shit out of him, but still going to win. And you were absolutely right. We had the blood going. Punk was bleeding. I mean, for 11 minutes, they got a lot done in that match. I will say this about Punk's side. Wasn't a huge fan of the little jab at Cena. Wasn't feeling that. But that is what it is. I thought for sure Kingston was going to hand Punk the L. But I'll tell you this, though. The crowd was with Kingston. And I don't remember what legend it was. It was either Mick Foley or Booker T on his podcast the next day said it reminded him of Rock and Hogan at Mania, where the fans weren't cheering who you thought they were going to cheer. The fans wanted Kingston to win that match. Yes, Punk got his initial pop with the Cult of Personality and coming out, but when the match got going and halfway through it, they were all Eddie. And I thought that he was going to pull out the win, but it is what it is. I'm going with MJF's going over Punk for his loss now. I'm going that. But it was a good match. They got a lot done. They're not super over the top wrestling. They're more ground and pound, technical, like that. They're not flips and all that. It was all right. It was a good match. Seeing Punk get a little bloody was cool just to pull that out. But honestly, when I watched it, I didn't even give it a score, to be honest with you. I wasn't really thinking that. I was upset that Kingston lost, but it was all right. It was okay. Let me know your thoughts.
Hey, let me tell you something, man. The match was good. There was a moment in there that CM Punk did acknowledge the fact that everybody and their mama was booing him.
Yeah,
there was a moment there. When he did the Cena thing, it was funny because my son, he's 17 years old. He's sitting next to me, and he leans over and he goes, "Really?" And I thought it was funny. I laughed. I'm sure that there was some people that took it really obsessional to that and was upset about it. I thought it was pretty funny. The match was a really good match. I knew that Eddie Kingston wasn't going to win the match because of everything he said in that promo. I don't care about winning the match. I'm just going to whoop your tail. And boy, did he do that. That part when they were in the middle of the ring and it looked like they were throwing blows at each other for real there for a second. Yeah. Eddie really got his stuff in. It's one of those things where CM Punk went over, but Eddie got over because people want him up there higher up on the card. I thought it was a really good match. Realistically, I gave it a 4.5. I thought it was a really good match. Why? Because of everything they did in the short amount of time that they did it, they actually told a pretty good story. And the whole finish was CM Punk putting out his hand, and Eddie's like, "Yo, bro, no, we ain't there yet." And I did what I told you I was going to do. I didn't want the win. I just wanted to beat you down. And I think he definitely got over. I think it was a pretty good match, man.
Yeah. I'll say one more thing before we move on. And you're right that people want Kingston at the top. Hopefully he at some point gets a title run. I hope. The one thing I don't want to happen is I don't want him to – I'm going to make a comparison. I don't like to do this a lot of the time, but I'm going to make a comparison. I really don't want him to turn into like a Samoa Joe where everyone's behind him, but they never quite give him that belt. You know what I mean? That's Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe's always had the crowd 1,000% behind him, and he's always kind of, flirted with the title picture, but he's never quite gotten there. And I hope that they don't do the same thing with Kingston because I'm already seeing a lot of parallels between Joe and Kingston. They're good heels. People love them. They want them to be at the top, but we'll see. Only time will tell, obviously.
I think one day we should do a show about the wrestlers that have been really over and have never held that major title. The first one that comes to mind in the 80s was Greg the Hammer Valentine. The man in the NWA was amazing. He sniffed that title so many times. He was super over when he would go against Ric Flair, but they never put the strap on him. But that's the topic for another day. Hey, the next match was a 15-minute match. Now, I don't want you to lie to our viewers. You said this was going to be your favorite match, and that's American Top Team versus the Inner Circle.
I think the phrase I used was certified bathroom break.
That's what it was. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So, boy, I don't know. It was fine. I didn't like the whole stuff at the end. The Frog Splash tribute to Eddie was good timing. Everything going on with Eddie in his anniversary of his passing and all that. That was fine, but there was just, there was something off. There was just something, not the match was off. It's just, I just wasn't excited about this. Like, I just wasn't excited. That's all I can say. Like, I just didn't do anything for me. And I knew it was going to be like that.
What was your rating, bud?
It had some good spots.
You don't rate it because of the Eddie spot.
2.5.
I gave it a 1.5. I thought the match sucked.
There you go.
When he did the Eddie thing, he got a pop. It was cool, and I was like, "Oh man, that was nice and everything." But when I went back and watched it, he needed to do that for that pop. It was a filler match, definitely a filler match.
Can we also say, worst shimmy of all time? He did the thing. Horrible. Anyway, that's what you're saying.
Yeah, the shimmy was bad. He's the GOAT, but he's not the GOAT in that. So let's just leave it like that.
Yeah.
The match was a solid 25-minute match with your AEW heavyweight champion Kenny, the sweeper, the cleaner, Omega versus Adam Hangman Paige, the challenger, in a 25-minute match. And we have a new AEW heavyweight champion in Adam Hangman Paige. Tell me your thoughts, your percentage of what you thought about the match.
Give me my flowers on this one. Give me my flowers.
Let's talk. You got it right. But if you listen to what I said I would have had him, preferred him to go over in his hometown tonight. So those of you that are watching this, remember, we're taping this on Wednesday, and we have an hour left before Dynamite starts. So we don't know what's happened on Dynamite. So I don't want you to leave comments. How come you guys didn't talk about? Well, because we're recording it an hour before Dynamite. But anyway, I would have liked to see him go over. But let me tell you, hearing the pop, it was the right call. It was a good match, bro.
Yeah, it was a great match. And it really kicked off with that awesome entrance. Him walking through the streets, leading to the arena on the horse, having the old kind of promos on like the TVs through the city was awesome. The stop sign for the what?
When they set up the different champions on the buildings And he was always the second runner-up. Yo, that was great. Great story, man.
Yep, the whole entrance is awesome. Like I said, that last red light before he got to the building said cowboy shit on the top of it. And then just when his theme hit, man, the people just, to me, going in, when he made the entrance, when he came out, when I saw the reception that he got, I just knew he was getting that win. I just knew it. Sometimes you just have that feeling when you're watching it. You just know they're going over. There's just a vibe. There's a feeling to it. Yeah, man, and it was a good match. I give it 4. I give it 4 stars. It was a good match. They had a lot of time. And that little tease with the Young Bucks kind of edging them on, that will work into the Kenny thing. I know Kenny's dealing with some injuries and stuff. I don't know if he'll be out for any time or what else, but there might be some turmoil within the Elite after this. We'll see, but I give it 4. I thought it was a good match, and the era of cowboy shit has begun. Like I said earlier, I just hope he's not a transitional champion, but only time will tell.
Yep. Well, look, I'm going to go ahead and let you fix your microphone for a second because I'm about to get this started. You ready for this? Check this out. I gave it a 5. I gave it 5. I had to give it 5. The match was a good match. The match was good. It was executed well. The story was told well. I like the fact that he went for the buckshot lariat a couple times, but it wasn't going with it. It wasn't happening. The whole thing with the Young Bucks, giving him the nod, good finish, man. It was really good. And then, of course, the celebration, when they handed him the beer, it reminded me of Nacho Libre. When he comes with the corn, he goes, "Get that out of my face." So that really popped very hard. It was a good match, man. I really enjoyed it. I gave it a 5. All in all, it was a really, really good match. Shout outs to my boy Kenny Omega. You're the best in the world. You're the reason. That's the reason why you're PWI 500 all the time, top 1, because you are amazing. And especially doing this match, everything you did under the injuries that you are reporting that you have, amazing. Bro, he did stuff. He's been suffering vertigo like we talked about earlier. And he was doing things that people, I know someone that has vertigo and suffers through it. And any little thing could set it off. And for him to do the things that he was doing was truly amazing. I gave it a 5-star. It really, really, the last thing people remember is what they see. It's the last thing they saw on the show. That made the pay-per-view great because of the way people felt leaving the arena. All in all, now that we have all said it, before we finish, we're sitting at 30 minutes doing the show. I got to know, Jordan, what did you give the entire pay-per-view? 1 to 5. 4.
4 stars. Incredible show. Great storytelling on pretty much almost all the matches. I gave it 4. I'm just going to leave it at that. Great show. And it was their second highest bought show that they've ever done. Second highest. The numbers came out earlier today. So great news.
Yep. Well, you know what? There's a reason why we're tag team partners, but that's exactly what I put. 4. Put them up. 4 horsemen. Shout out to the 4 horsemen. But that's what I got exactly as well. It was a 4-star pay-per-view, in my opinion, in Jordan's opinion. Now, it's your turn. We need to know what you guys thought. You got to make sure you comment below. Tell us what you thought about the pay-per-view. Tell us if you agree with us. Not everybody's going to agree, obviously. But tell us how you felt about the pay-per-view. We really want to hear it. So, Jordan, it's all yours, baby. Take it away.
Yeah, man. We appreciate all the support so far. The road to 200 subs on YouTube has started. Like I said, if you want the audio only, you don't want to see our mugs and see our reactions, Spotify link is always down below. If you're on Spotify and you want to see us, go over on YouTube, the Curtain Call Podcast. Yeah, we appreciate all the support so far. We've only had, I think our first episode came out like 9 days ago, and we're already at 119 subscribers on the YouTube, so that's great growth so far. Like I said, the road to 200 has begun. Be on the lookout for some merch coming soon. We're working on a few things merch-wise. We want to get those, handed out and get that going. But yeah, we really appreciate the support so far. Stay tuned. In the next day or so, we're going to be having a Survivor Series predictions video and just much more content in the future. Too sweet, everyone. Throw it up if you got it, and hit him with your OG.
And remember, we always kick out at 2. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Peace.